Hey Bill, good to see you again, and great to have you at Taxashore again. It's been a busy old time no doubt for everybody. So welcome.
Thank you. Very exciting to see you guys again as well. And we've had a great year working together with some customer scenarios.
Yeah, it's great. And for those that don't know, Belinda Gray from Bluestone, we work closely with them, helping clients to manage their tax debt a bit better, and obviously get the appropriate funding solutions in place for them.
Yeah, so I thought we could go through one of those scenarios that we have been working on today, Michael. Obviously, brokers out there, if you haven't looked into TaxAssure before, certainly reach out. There's definitely a great need for those customers out there who are self-employed and do have the trouble of outstanding tax debt.
Yeah, great. And look, this one's I guess a little bit sort of different to what a lot of the ones we've worked out in the past, because this is a situation where we had a client who had a business in WA. It was a childcare centre. It was set up while the husband and wife were located in WA. They subsequently relocated to Queensland, and that combined with some issues around sort of lockdowns that were happening in Perth, in and around Perth, and staffing issues affected the business to the point where they actually started to build a tax debt, and I guess a little bit of sort of out of sight, out of mind, and maybe took their eye off it. And the people that they left running it didn't quite really sort of comply with everything they needed. And the upshot was that they'd managed to grow a tax debt of around $475,000, which was in the wife's name. The husband was still actively engaged and working, but this was sort of something they'd done on the side, which had come back to bite them. So when we got involved, the ATO were getting quite serious. They were looking to take proceedings against the wife, and you can imagine that created a lot of angst in the household. But we were able to get in and settle the ATO down and agree, I guess, an exit strategy. The tricky thing for them was they really didn't have the cash flow to clear this. So what they needed to do was to borrow against their home. They also had an investment property. And that's where we brought Bluestone in. The great thing about working with the guys at Bluestone and with Bell is they're comfortable, they understand tax debt. They're one of the few lenders that do. And so we were able to engage with them. We managed to get the debt down by about $85,000 by removing the interest and penalties, but it still left, around $390,000 that needed to be funded, which the guys were able to do.
Yeah, and I think with this type of customer, we see them all day, every day. Like if you're a broker out there, you're meeting with your customer, there's always a little bit of that financial difficulty. With this customer, they've moved on from the business, so they are looking at other forms of income to support this application, but they still have the burden of the old business. So we often think that we can't help these type of customers, but we certainly can at Bluestone. With this customer here, we could pay out the tax debt, but also they've got a leftover business debt from the childcare centre that we were also being able to wrap into that one. And looking at the alt doc solution with this one, as they had a new business that they're obviously gaining income from, with just that 12-month ABN on that other avenue that they've gone down. So I think these type of customers, they're out there, and we want to be able to help them. It's not that it's too hard or too difficult. They've gone to Michael over in TaxAssure, and I can guarantee they'd be very grateful for what you've done. A lot of brokers would say, wow, that is a massive tax debt. No one's going to touch this application. But they had the equity in the home simply to pay it out. So I think, we do think about the customers with the equity in the home and how can we help them financially. Debt consolidation, including your tax debt, is certainly something, whether it's personal or business, we can provide a solution.
Yeah, great. And look, I certainly know that we had some very relieved people at the end of this process, and it took around sort of 6 weeks to get it all sorted. But and they were certainly very grateful for what we did, but they were also incredibly grateful with the speed and I guess the ease of dealing with Bell and the guys through their broker at Bluestone. So it was just a one of those scenarios where it really was a massive win-win-win for everybody. The ATO got paid. These people get to get on with their lives, and they move on from what was really a really dark and difficult time for themselves.